Hey, you crazy cats. Welcome to Leaving CrazyTown, where we navigate the roller coaster of relationships, mental health, and personal transformation with humor as our trusty seatbelt.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and with my buddy Finn, we're here to share our real stories, expert insights, practical tips to help you break free from codependency, reclaim your life, and find freedom.
So whether you're wrestling with boundary issues, craving connections that won't ghost you, or just here for a front row seat to the wild ride of self-discovery, you've come to the right place.
So buckle up. We're leaving CrazyTown. Hey, everybody. It's Sarah. Welcome to Leaving CrazyTown. And we have a really special guest today. Her name is Lori McCarthy, and she is the executive director at the Herren Wellness Treatment Center in Seekonk, Mass, correct?
Yes.
Yep. I'm going to have her give us her bio and how she got involved with Herren Wellness. And Herren Wellness is, of course, the treatment center that was started with Chris Herren, who was on the Boston Celtics, who we all know his incredible journey to sobriety. So hopefully we'll have him on at a later date. But we want to talk to Lori today about her experience, how she got involved, and something about the treatment center. So fill us in, Lori. Tell us how you got to know him and got to be involved in the treatment facility.
Beautiful. So yeah, oh gosh, and I can go on and on and on. So just stop me. It's
okay. No problem. Take it
the
away.
treatment part is my favorite topic. How I got there is it's not a straight line, but I was working in a treatment center down in Falmouth. And I was working for a guy who was super innovative. It was at the height of the opioid epidemic. He just very much about innovation and how can we do it better and what's thinking outside of the box and programs and services. So I was there for quite a while, almost 7 years. And during that time, Chris was very close to the CEO. And so I saw Chris occasionally he would do speaking events for us. They worked together on high school, counselor integration in some of the high schools on Cape Cod. So I knew him over the years and he's just the most amazing man, along with his wife, Heather.
Right.
So I ended up leaving that program. The CEO, he retired. And about 6 months later, I left that program and I was pretty much just at home working on prevention in our town. And I got a phone call from Chris and I couldn't believe, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Perfect. And he said, I'd love to open a center. Would you be interested? And so it sort of started there. And that was in 2017. That summer he called and said he had found a property, a historic landmark in Seekonk, Mass.
Nice.
That was operating as an inn for 25 years and had 6 acres of land, beautiful. We went down and we saw it and we fell in love with it and we purchased it and we started building this model of care from my experience working in the field and his experience in speaking and in front of so many students and families. Yes. And we had, a lot of help, a lot of really talented advisors, one of them being that CEO.
Yes.
And we opened on March 5th, 2018.
Nice. Beautiful.
Yeah.
It reminds me actually when I first moved here in 97, I think I told you I started working for McLean Hospital and I didn't purchase. They purchased a big old inn out in Ashburnham, Mass. Yeah, it used to be the Knockegg Hospital, and then it became an inn, and then McLean bought it, and it was a treatment. So it sounds like a very similar location. But if anybody needs treatment or knows someone that needs treatment, definitely check out their website because it's a beautiful place in Seekonk, Mass. There's also a couple of sober houses attached to it, a great innovative treatment. So if you're looking for help, please reach out. I was thinking of so many questions for you because we've both kind of been in the business for a long time and been around sobriety and been in the treatment facilities and residential programs. And I just spoke with the guy, I don't know if you know Paul Gilmartin. He runs a really big podcast called the Mental Illness Happy Hour. And he's been doing it since 2011. And he was a comedian, but he got sober. and he interviews all kinds of people. And I asked him, I said, what do you see? And I was thinking about this for you too. How do you see the clientele or the people trying to get sober these days? You know, how do you see them different from kind of when you got sober? Or is everybody just the same, you know, or are they struggling with different issues, more complicated issues? Do they come in with a different presentation? Do you see anything these days that's more complicated or more difficult?
It's such a great question, and it's completely relevant, you know, to the
Okay.
field.
Okay.
From when I got sober in '87, I mean, yes, such a change. I think that the issues are more complex. I
Right.
think that there's so much emphasis on mental health and anxiety and depression and the changing landscape of
Yes.
internet and social media and how we communicate in the world and the lack of communication in the world with all of this, like the most advanced technological communication,
Yes.
you know, resources on the planet. And yet
Right.
there's a lot of like loneliness out there. So
Yes.
I think that plays a major factor. And I think adjusting to that as far as like treatment professionals, that's
Yes.
what I think we really pride ourselves on. We're small. You know, it's never changed what our intent is with the program.
Yes.
That is, what is the best guest experience
Yes.
and how do we provide that? And it has changed over the years since we opened. And what's
Yes.
great is that with what we see out there,
Yes.
we can pivot in the program. We have that flexibility, we have the knowledge, we can write curriculums, we can present ideas and be innovative and creative.
Yes.
And that is, to me, I don't, you know, the treatment field, sometimes it can feel very stagnant where you do the same thing over and over again. And it's no one's fault. It's just there as much research as there is and how much research came along with the opioid epidemic.
Yes.
The research exploded, the education exploded as far
Yes.
as like training people in the field, the public perception, the moms and communities that form coalitions. And
Yes.
so there was so much that we got. And, you know, I don't know, like, if that makes, I think it's made it into the treatment centers, but like, I think we need more. I think that we're
Yes.
always looking, what else can we deliver? So for
It's-
example, you know, in the program, we have very structured, like a lot of programs, super important that people learn, like it feels really good to
Yes.
complete a day and like show up for everything. It's like something as small as that has
Yes.
meaning, but it's things that we've added over the years, you know, Smart Recovery, Refuge, AA, NA. We do our 330 group as a recovery support group.
Yes.
And we really do believe that everybody should have exposure,
Yes.
all of that. We believe that adult children of alcoholics meetings are important, family dynamics, topic groups, different kinds of therapy, CBT, DBT. We're doing a IFS workshop every Friday now because the guests, I think that keeping them engaged and interested in
Yes.
learning where they don't feel they're sitting in a lecture, but
Yes.
they're interactive. And how we do that is every week we have a topic group. And then we have a process group in the mornings, and that's on Mondays, we kind of kick off the topic of the week.
Yes.
And then the subsequent groups throughout the day hits on that theme. So the facilitators are relating whatever the topic group is to what the theme is. And so we find that, and because it's interactive and we engage,
Yes.
and we want everybody sort of in the room, we want to hear them.
Yes.
It doesn't, they're exhausted by the end of the day.
I bet.
But they're learning and they don't feel like it's repetitive.
Yes.
So we can have people there for a long time.
Yes.
And I think the beauty of that is for the new guest that comes in, because we're not just a 30-day program,
Yep.
they can come into a program as the new person and someone's there that's been there for 3 months. That person with 3 months has gained so much knowledge and confidence
Yes.
that they can help that new person.
Yes.
They feel good, the new person feels good. And so varying lengths of stay in the program at the same time in a residential, not sober living, residential, 24-hour staff.
Yep.
No one goes off campus without staff.
Yep.
Families on campus. It becomes like it's very much a we
Yes.
environment. It's the staff who all, as Chris says, Chris will say, really everyone in the staff is a life coach.
Right.
All of our staff have varying degrees of just talent and experience that they bring. So there's always, we do it all together. And
Yes.
I think that the outcomes, like we're thrilled with them. Like, of course, we can get better.
Yes.
But it seems to be working that everyone, I think the guests feel that it's a we thing.
Right. Right. Let me ask you this, because there's so many questions I have with what you just talked about. But the first thing, you keep using the word guest. And so what are your thoughts? What's the beliefs around that, calling the person a guest rather than a patient or a client or whatever?
So in the beginning, when we're like sitting around the conference table prior to opening for months, like, how do we want this to be? What do we want people to feel? And Heather and Chris's input on that. I mean, Heather is a family member.
Yes.
When Chris was in treatment, but
Yes.
it's a wellness center. We want it to be a wellness center. We didn't want to be identified as an addiction. And it's funny because the guests will say to each other, I've never liked treatment so much. And I'll say, it's a wellness center. I say it all the time. It's like my mantra when I walk around. This is a great rehab. It's a wellness center. It's like,
Right.
I do it all the time and everyone laughs, but because they're like, no, it's really a rehab. No. So as a wellness center, we wanted it. I mean, one of the things, my work with families, which is my favorite part of like my license and being an interventionist, is we want people to feel like a guest. We don't want them to feel like a patient.
Respected. Yeah.
We want them to walk in with the dignity of that name.
Yes.
And
I was just gonna say that.
and we realize that everyone around them is terrified,
Yes.
probably angry,
Yes.
mostly terrified, like don't understand, don't know what to do, exasperated at the end, whatever it is. So they come in and it's like the first thing they really get is a hug,
Yes.
like, welcome. Like our job is to every single guest, because we're small enough to do this. Our job is to take care of you.
Yes.
Our job is to help you feel better, to get you healthy, to understand how you're here without judgment,
Yes.
and work on ways that you can hang on to your health and what you're going to encounter when you leave here.
Yes.
So that's the goal so when they come in and they feel like we're looking them in the eye,
Right.
we have staff that are like, welcome, can I get you a glass of water? Would you like a
Right.
seltzer? Come in and sit down. They come with families. We give the parents a hug. We give them, we're here for you. Here's our numbers. First off,
Yes.
you can call
Yes.
anytime.
Yes.
Like, you can always talk to somebody. So that idea of really that addicted person or that person that doesn't want to be there. I mean,
Right.
people don't walk in, "Huh,
Yes. Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
People walk in like,
Right. Right.
seriously?
Right.
So,
And
the
it's so
first-
collaborative. It's so
Yeah.
collaborative. I don't hear like a hierarchy or a better than, less than. I mean, and I think that's such a great point. I mean, by the time you walk into a treatment facility, you feel like crap anyways.
Yeah.
You've really suffered all kinds of pain. You have all kinds of shame. You feel bad enough.
Yes.
And then I agree with you. Like, I mean, sometimes I think, if there's like the doctors and the patients, there is a discrepancy in power. I remember when I was in treatment in 84, I mean, I think most of the people would fall asleep in the 1 o'clock group because it was after lunch, first of all. But secondly, it was the lecture. The lecture was at 1 and nobody was interested really. You can't take it in. So this idea of really having this back and forth and engagement to me and community and connection. I mean, there's so much written about addiction recovery and connection.
Connection is the answer. And
Yes.
all of we do outcomes, we do studies, we always are evaluating the connection. Like if you think about, first of all, to do a lecture after lunch, I don't know, like don't do that group then. Like if we're in a group and somebody is like, let's say somebody like starts to do this, the person next to them is
Yes.
going to say, hey, like you'll miss it. Like
Yes.
everybody in the program knows, first of all, that our goal is them. We
Yep.
work for them. We want them to get better,
Yes.
their families and themselves. So we gain trust. It takes a minute. I don't expect
Yes.
everybody to come in to trust
Yes.
us. It takes
Yes.
time. And so our
Yes.
team, we build our team around, just because we work here, it's not an automatic, sense of credibility. Like we have to
Right.
put it in it's almost like we have to be the people in recovery
Right.
that are walking the walk. So
That's right.
I think that's really important. But the connection and community, Chris also, when we opened, he said, I don't want name badges.
Right.
I don't want name badges. So it was our first week that we opened in a snowstorm. We lost power.
Of course.
We were in this, it's an old inn.
Yep.
There was a door in the basement that the breeze would come in and shut off the pilot light, the boiler. So the Seacon fire department was literally at our place daily, and Chris thought it was hilarious. They didn't. They were like, come on, dude. Like, because they'd be asking the guests, like, do you work here? Do you
Right.
work here? Wait,
Right.
are you employed here? Who's in charge? And Chris is like, I love that for the guests.
Yes.
I love that
Right.
people walk up and say, are you a member of the staff? So
Nice. It gives them
definitely
dignity.
intentional.
Yeah. And I mean, it gives them dignity. And also, it's this idea that addiction is part of you. It's not all of you.
Yes.
That we have, a lot of people have careers or have families, have these lives. And yes, addiction can take over. Absolutely. But you don't have to be completely identified as this is my only side of my personality. And
that's what we love so much about integrating the IFS model.
yes.
Because in our workshops, we work with a very talented clinician, psychotherapist, who specializes in this work. And he does a workshop every week. And
Yes.
he's become our clinical advisor. But it's this idea in our workshop that there is a part of you that wants to use,
Yes.
feels like it needs to use, and can we do work around that?
Yes.
And the result of that is they feel better.
Yes.
Like you can wrap your head around that, because
Yes.
you really walk around I remember saying to people, I always say I'm in recovery. Just ever since I became a mom, I say I'm in recovery. So I started that like 28 years ago when I became a mom. But
Yes.
I also I'm a mother. I'm a friend. I'm a sister,
Yes.
daughter. I'm a wife. I work in a program. But
Yes. Yes.
and addiction has defined my life.
Yes.
In not
Yes.
great ways, but in mostly since I stopped drinking.
Yes.
Most beautiful way.
Yes.
But it is a part. It's a part.
Yes.
And I think that I know that, and I say when I'm working with families, and I understand that I'll say we all know from the education and the medical journals that it's a brain disease. It's a disease.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the behavior that creates the stigma,
Yeah.
because the behavior in addiction is horrible.
Yeah.
It wreaks havoc. It's the tornado in the big book.
Yeah.
It's the It's horrendous. And
Yes.
so the behavior is what everyone's upset about.
Yes. Right.
And being able to separate that for them, like you
Yes.
love your family member
Yes.
and it's okay to want to rip their head off.
Yes.
The
Yes.
behavior is atrocious.
Right. It sounds like too, I was just thinking also when you were describing in the beginning what the treatment facility is about and how people have changed. And I struggled with this ongoing over the years with this trying to find the balance between what you're speaking about, which is really respecting the person, having a connection, having them make their own choices about things, et cetera, and that this is a freaking killer illness and people can be in major denial and they can rationalize and they can minimize and they can romanticize and it can kill them. And I've had people leave my office and relapse
Yes.
when they seem fine.
Yes.
So it's this real balance. And when you talk about kind of the mental illness piece now, and even when I was getting trained at McLean in the late 90s, the psychiatrists would focus so much on their anxiety and depression. And I would be at the staff meetings and I'd be saying, hey, they were shooting dope yesterday. Like, yeah, that's important. But what med they're going to be on today when they're detoxing, maybe we just need to say they shouldn't use today or whatever.
Right.
So, I mean, there's this real balance of respecting and wanting to get, and this is my own rant, wanting to like resolve the mental illness piece. Absolutely. And you cannot pick up and kind of really respecting the nature of the illness, which the quintessential component being denial. So it's that real balance. And I don't know if any of that.
It's not a rant. It's actually in every single day awareness of what we are up against.
Yes.
So like for our team or, we're able to integrate a lot of cool things. Like if somebody's been there for a while, we'll do an overnight with the family.
Yes.
We don't do the overnight with the family, not thinking that, they're like, woohoo, let's go. Like they're great. It's there's risk in every we know that. We know that we're fighting a fatal disease. We know that we're fighting can be a recurring disease.
Yes.
So it's, we can, as I say, the only way I can work in the field and be in it for so long.
Yes.
Because I know and I believe that if we do our very best and we're very good at what we do in the program every day, they have a great shot.
Yes.
And we're always here to say, what can we do for you on the other end? We're not going to, we're going to be there. Now, do I get off the rails? Yes. Do I, cunning, baffling, rationalization.
Yes.
The guests do it on a daily basis with us.
Yes.
But the thing is if you expect it,
yes,
that this is part of it.
Yes.
It can be in the moment super frustrating and I got to walk away or the team's got to walk away. But at the end of the day, we're not solving this. We're not going to solve this. Like in my life, I hope, but I don't know. I think someone asked me once, like, do you feel like you're, getting ahead of it? And I'm like, no.
Right.
And you asked about like what the changes are. So the changes that we've seen that we talk about all the time, there's during COVID, we ended up getting a lot of college age.
Got it.
So they were in their dorm rooms. They were alone, isolated, smoking weed, doing Xanax.
Yes.
Are they in full-blown addiction? Probably wouldn't meet criteria, but God, they need to be in a healthy place and they need to. So that was sort of the phone calls came from that and we were able to, we could work with the school so they could do schoolwork and not lose a semester. They would work out in the gym. They'd get the mental health help. We'd get them grounded. They don't have access. So a lot of our program too is that you don't have to meet a criteria.
Great.
So that's the first, that was sort of the first we created this space to meet the need.
Nice.
And then Chris always says after COVID, it was like the kids came, then the dads, the men that were working outside the home and ended up back at home. And he said the moms held out for the longest. So then they came. But now,
Right.
so we have that, and that started really a lot of our prevention work in that
Yes.
demo with, you don't have to meet a criteria to come and get well. So we really want to be a place that you don't have to define yourself as being addicted.
Right. Right. Which is, yes.
Let's prevent it.
Which
Like
is
you're on your way or whatever. And
which is such a great option. And okay, so now I'm thinking about codependency because that's what the channel is about, and that's what I wrote the book about. But with your work, and you're talking about families, and I have a couple of stories, but college age kids, to me, one of the biggest barriers is the family, because I've had so many clients. I tell this story in the book about a friend of my son's mom. So I have a 25-year-old, and when he went to college, she called me and wanted to get together for coffee and talk about our sons being away and stuff. And we're having coffee, and she told me that she still called her son in the morning to wake him up to go to class.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, how is this child going to learn any type of responsibility?
Yeah.
And the whole idea about that, that's not about the child. That's about the mom. And that's about the mom's fear. And so often when I would get calls, and just to hear your experience, how you've handled this with parents, with a kid at college, and then suddenly they find out they haven't been going for 6 months, but they've been paying toughs, or whatever, because that happens. And yet their own, maybe the word codependency throws them off, but just the fear is so great.
Yeah.
So the controlling behavior and the intrusion behavior is so great, rather than allowing the college age kids, like, okay, I'm going to do this if you do this, like having, consequences, because they're so fearful of really death is the bottom line thing that everybody's afraid of. So I just think it's so awesome and important, like critical actually, to have the families involved, especially if it's a high schooler or a college age kid, because the parents are still very much involved in their lives. And
absolutely.
the
Yeah.
treatment is so much about their treatment.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes. And the
Another
family
rant.
involvement, it's impressive.
Yes.
That, so we do 2 support groups a week on Zoom.
Yes.
Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. We have a facilitator. She's amazing.
Yes.
And and the guests they're not involved in that.
Yes.
So it's the family. She has guest speakers. She has other alumni families come on and share
Yes.
the process of holding your breath. How long
Yes.
do you hold your breath? How do you have, what are the things? So the families are getting new skills too.
Yes.
Because everybody, as you know,
Yes.
you are the person for codependency. It's,
Right.
and then you can, when you're saying she called her son every day, I'm thinking, what was he like as a child that how did she put that in? How did she need
Right.
did she need to put that in place somehow? Or
Yes.
what's her legacy?
Right.
You know what
Absolutely.
I mean?
All of
It's
it. All of it.
there's so
Yes.
much.
Yes, there's so much. It definitely was put in place at a certain point, and I know the history. But the thing is, what you're talking about is we need to constantly be changing. And as parents, especially, it's a constant letting go and adapting. And for me, I have learned, I could get choked up saying it, I have learned the most about myself through my parenting, because it is the hardest job in the world. And it's the job that you have with people that you care the most about. And yet to let them grow and have their own mistakes and not try to control it, even though you can't anyways, is huge, huge work. Huge.
It is unbelievably, I mean, I've gotten, when I've struggled and, my kids were teenagers.
Yes.
I went to the therapist.
Yes.
Was like, I am like, with all my knowledge and work, I become a mom. And
Yes.
what did I tell my youngest once? If you do this, I will shut your life down. I will shut it down. I'm like 30 years sober.
I
telling
love
the
this.
kid, I'm gonna shut. And he's like,
I love
a
this.
sweetheart. But I was giving him like, just so you know, because all his brothers were off at college.
Yes.
And like, that's my,
I know.
it's like, okay, mom, but it's so we need help. Like we're
Yes.
never like I still need to learn. Like
Yes.
my father was in recovery and he passed away with 40 years.
God.
But his thing was, Lore, got to keep an open mind.
Yes.
Always keep an open mind. I remember when I was at Gosnold and I would tell him like, we're starting a recovery coaching program and getting these phone calls from some old timers on the Cape that are like, it's paid sponsorship. What do you think you're doing? And my dad said, does it help?
Right.
And I said, it actually really helps. And he goes, it's wonderful.
Right.
Like he just had this, I never heard him ever. And I don't think my siblings either, if I asked them, from the minute he walked into Alcoholics Anonymous, I never heard him say a bad thing about any person, anybody.
Right.
He would be like concerned about the struggle or sad or like,
Yes.
this guy can't get it. And I keep
Yes.
saying, here are the recommendations.
Yes.
Try, this is a recommendation of the program. Like try.
Yes.
It's just a very, it didn't feel, I was like a maniac when I went in there and I felt very loved and accepted, even though I was a little cuckoo.
Yes.
I needed that.
Yes.
And I feel like AA and time and designating, I've got 38 years. It's, time is a great thing until you relapse. And then it's a 4-letter word.
Amen. And you know what? Oh God, we could talk about, we'll have to do another episode at some point because we're going to run out of time. But the whole idea of, you and I both know people with over 30 years that are crazy. I mean, let's face it. Right? So it's really, and I know people with 2 years that sound like, Jesus or Socrates or, I mean, they're just brilliant. Yes. So to me, it's not about time. It's really about quality. And yet, and your father, and I am also like, to me, the longer I stay sober, the less I know. And the more open and spacious I want to be.
Me too.
And to me, in the halls at times, you can see the fear, which really is manifested in rigidity. Yes. Oh, well, this is the rule. This is what I heard in a meeting 20 years ago. And this is the fact. It's like, it's not a fact. Someone made it up. Like all of this stuff, someone made up at one point, even Bill W.
Yes.
And so it's like, it's all what works and what doesn't, what works and what doesn't. And, you see sponsors sometimes being these like mean, controlling, shaming human beings. It's like, that's not what it's about.
Right.
So I totally agree with you. And I loved what you talked about, to always being open to something new and what's next. And at the same time, there's certain bottom lines, right? Yes. And, the thing about the diagnoses arena is, I've had people come in and say, I just need another med. It's my depression. It's this. And yet they're not hitting a meeting or they're hanging out in their house by themselves. So it's like, yes, it's again, that balance. We can treat that stuff, but if you're not doing anything for your recovery and you're not connecting with people, you're going to get depressed. Because that's what happens.
You have to have all of it.
Yes.
And I'm purist AA at heart.
Yes.
In the late 80s, it worked for me, but I also very much will reference and go back to, these guys were not like, we're never going to change.
Yes.
We're never going to learn new things. We're never going to, for me, like one of my things is, why don't SMART recovery and AA work together? Like not together, but it's almost like if you're in SMART recovery, you don't go to AA. And if you're in AA, how dare you walk? So we, our guests, do it all. Like we have these things work. These things are,
Yes.
these things are, there's a space.
Yes.
So do a hybrid. We have a woman that teaches our SMART recovery,
Nice.
and she is very cerebral.
Yep.
SMART recovery is her thing. But
Yes.
they don't have women's meetings.
Yes.
So she goes to AA women's meetings,
Nice.
and she's got this beautiful like hybrid of connection and support, and
Yes.
she made it work. So she facilitates our groups to introduce that. No one's an enemy of it, but
Yes.
it is, you won't get away with, you're not going to last in SMART recovery or whatever that is, but
Right.
it's,
Everybody's got an opinion.
yeah.
And it's also like you said, like if I'm in some type of activation and I'm blaming or angry at some other thing, it's about me. It's not about the thing. I
Right.
mean, that whole axiom, in the Daily Reflections book, I am responsible. And that's the thing with codependency too. It's when people are either with an addict or an alcoholic, or even in people in recovery, and you're in a relationship, it's not about the other person. It's about how you're responding or what feelings are coming up for you or what behaviors you're doing. They're in their hula hoop and you're in yours. We're still responsible for us and our behaviors,
And it's fun. You'll love this. So I was
Okay.
talking to Chris about this podcast, and I
Yes.
said, what's really interesting is we have ACOA, we have family dynamics. We don't have a codependency group. So I said, Sarah's going to send us books. I go,
Right.
we need to add a group. We need to add a codependency group. And he's like, oh my, like, yeah, we do. Like, right. So we can do that. We
Yeah,
can do that.
right.
And I'd love to, I said, she said she'd come up and facilitate a group, please.
Oh
Whenever.
yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. I mailed you guys a box of books. I hope they get to you. But it's
I'm
the,
just-
it's the other thing about codependency too, like you're talking about. It's, to me, the things that people most struggle with in recovery are relationships.
Yes.
And I really think it's because we all have this woundedness from wherever. And this, those dynamics with our parents, those early object relations, they become our belief systems, our schemas, all that stuff on how we relate, our paradigms of relationship. And it gets played out over and over
Totally.
again. And I see it all the time. I think I said this to you when I met you. In meetings, you'll hear someone say, I got 35 years of sobriety, but man, I just haven't been able to speak up to my wife, or I'm still people pleasing my kid. And you're thinking, that's where it is. It's the hardest thing because I think it brings up the feelings from long ago. I mean, I
Right.
just think it activates it.
And one of my favorite, I also shared with Chris that when you gave me the YouTube to
Yes.
listen to, one of my favorite things I think that you said was, it's not just people in recovery.
No, absolutely.
Like codependency is universal.
Absolutely.
Every day from the minute we wake up, the minute we go to sleep, we all need help. I don't care
Yes.
how many years sober I have. I don't care
Yes.
if my husband's not in recovery.
Yes.
We all need those relationship skills. And
That's
where
right.
everybody gets jammed up in the world is what is mine and what belongs to me and
Yes.
what doesn't.
Yes.
That's really hard to figure out.
It is. And I think, yes. And human nature and human beings are afraid.
Yeah.
And, I talk in the book, and I don't even know if this is true, but supposedly there's only two fears you're born with, the fear of loud noises, and I think the fear of falling genetically.
Wow.
And all the rest of the fears, the relationship fears, fear of someone getting upset, fear of not being liked, fear of your opinion, fear of you judging me, fear of you getting mad at me, fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, all that stuff are relational.
Right.
And those things were created. Something happens and suddenly I get the fear I'm going to be abandoned. And then the problem is that's how I treat every future relationship.
That's right.
But I don't know it's about,
Right.
yeah, the past.
I don't know why. We're in the cycle, and then we're
Yes.
like,
Yes. And it's unconscious. A lot of it is unconscious because these behavior patterns have just been developed and we don't even know that they're not really working or why. So I can't wait till you get the book and read it. Anyway,
I know, I can't wait.
So getting a little more personal, I'm
Yes.
going to ask you, being someone in long-term recovery, what would you say have been kind of the biggest challenges over the years of your own sobriety? Maybe not relapsing, but just in life. And yeah,
Yeah. It's such a great question. I mean, a lot of challenges. I mean,
yes,
so many challenges.
yeah, I love you.
Growing up in an alcoholic home, my dad got
Yes.
sober. My mom didn't. So,
Oh God.
and my mom got better, but kind of living with the polarized, things where there's so much accountability and honesty and
Yes.
personal growth on one end. And then on the other end, it's learning how to love and
Yes.
be in that, have a really good relationship with her, be in a really good relationship with her, regardless of anything. So
Got it.
talent, really, I mean, definitely relationships for me. My husband and I was 33 when we got married.
Yes.
We were together for a few years. Definitely the abandonment stuff was a
Yes.
long therapy.
Yes.
I've been in and out of therapy for years.
Yes.
When we had infertility.
Oh God, that's so huge.
Yeah, I had triplets and lost our daughter at birth. So a lot of pain and loss, even in recovery.
Yes.
Just,
Yes.
family. I mean, so challenges and yet gratitude at the same
Learn.
time.
Yes.
It's really interesting. Like when I lost my daughter, I walked around pissed off for about a year. I would like walk the twins,
Yes.
be like, God, how dare you? All this stuff. But I did realize one thing in that kind of grief process. I went to a grief support group, and
Yes.
you can be really grateful and really broken at the same time, which I
Yes.
didn't know.
Yes.
I didn't know. I thought I really had this idea that because I'm sober and I do all this great work
Yes.
on my recovery, that bad stuff won't happen to me. Like, I think I really thought that.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
I'm doing the right thing, therefore the right things will happen. And you know what? It's a naive and really
Yes.
bullshit. So it's I have so much respect for. There are so many people that come into our program, like moms, and
Yes.
that, like, it's not. I was single when I got sober. Like
Yes.
that, they have a mountain to climb, and I was this young sober girl. Like, what are you talking about? It's I just got a real life lesson in life's coming at you
Yes. Yes.
regardless of whether you're sober or not.
Amen. Oh my God, so many things. The grief, the moms,
Yeah.
and I had one other thing. But the grief thing, I often say to myself, the older I get, God, I could get tearful just saying this. I really think our peace of mind and our quality of life becomes all about how we process our grief. Because the bottom line is that's something that's going to be happening to us guaranteed for the rest of our life. And some of us experience it a lot in the beginning, and some in the middle, and some later. But there just hasn't been this kind of space to just be able to do that. And also, I'm going to send you a book that's so awesome that I use. But that's one thing.
So
The other
true.
thing,
Yeah.
the other thing you said about when your daughter died and how you felt about managing the two feelings. My buddy that I do the YouTube channel with, Finn, his wife died a few years ago, and it was very sudden. She got a tick bite, and it
Oh my
got this. Yeah, I shouldn't freak you out. She had already had cancer and was compromised. But at the same time that happened, he was in a period of his life of the most joy because of what was going on in his life. So he used to call me and he'd say, Sarah, this is so bizarre. I finally got that I can be grieving and be incredibly sad and ripped up and broken and be full of joy about what's happening. So I totally get that. That is
Yeah.
that's
Like,
so
beautiful
amazing and beautiful.
voice,
Yes.
so grateful. And
Yes.
and it's so I can say to our guests, it's possible to be, it's possible to mourn, it's possible to feel really bad, it's possible to have resentment
Yes.
and be grateful that you're getting healthy.
Yes.
So I mean, I
Yes.
think all of it is, it's just as I get older, it's like the simplicity of life's terms,
Yes.
terms, and learning how to, I can get super elevated, go from,
Yes.
it's really learning how to just not feel bad for, for a long time.
Ride the
Get out of
waves.
that negative
Yes.
power space.
Yes.
And that feels good. Like strategies, working on ways to do that without numbing
Yes.
with alcohol and drugs, you know. I can do
Yes.
a million other things like TV and,
Oh,
stuff. But it's, I love walking through life sober. I feel like you don't get the good unless you feel the bad. Like,
amen.
so,
Yes.
when I feel really good, I feel like I could never feel better. And when I
Right.
feel really bad, I feel like I could never feel worse.
Yes.
It's,
Yes. Yes.
it's, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
that.
and it's like that. It's like what we resist persists. It's getting used to letting our humanness ride the waves of the emotions. And like you say, it's like the only trouble with me is sometimes I'm just not aware of what's going on. You know what I mean? Suddenly someone will say, wow, you're a little edgy today or something. And I'm like, wow, okay. Or, going through something and not, I remember when my kid went off to college and suddenly I was convinced my cat needed another cat. I know this sounds insane. And I remember calling my vet and I'm like, I think my cat's lonely. And he's like, your cat's not lonely. Really. They don't want to. Suddenly a
That's
friend
the
of mine
funniest
said,
thing.
are you?
And you're like, yes, thank you for pointing that out. You need friends like that, right?
It's so crazy. Like
Yeah.
that we can think like, anyways.
I want to say something about our alumni program.
Oh, please.
Because I think that the coolest thing for me, and I'm sure for Chris and Heather, a lot of people come back and they celebrate, whether they're on Zoom. So we have 1 years and 7 years and,
Yes.
5 years and 3. And so the guests get to feel all that. But
Yes.
when we are in the room and we hearing like the growth and
Yes.
the wisdom of our alumni,
Such a good feeling. There's nothing like it. Nope. There's
that's
nothing.
like the makes you want to hit the golf shot again.
That's right.
You
That's
know, like
yes.
we can have really bad time, like you said, dealing with relapse and family and death and
Yes.
just the sadness that goes along with the disease. Those are the really like they're
Yeah, the success
good.
and the hope
Yeah.
and people getting
And
their
the
lives
struggle.
back and the struggle. Yes.
A place to bring it. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. It sounds like a wonderful place. You and I are totally on the same page. We connect, and I'm so grateful for you being here. Any last words, and also any tip or tool or anything that you find really helpful working with your clients? Anything you want to say to the audience about one thing that you think is really helpful with staying sober, getting sober? Even not sobriety, just being a human being. Any tips you want to send out to the universe today?
I think it's like be in a constant state of learning.
Yes.
I really think that it all comes down to, and it's very, when people are working with their loved ones coming in, I always say to them, just ask them if they're willing to try.
Yes.
Like if you can just be willing, then you got your foot in the door. And I think
Yes.
that in light, like we have to be willing to learn and try not to be so like I'm going to die on this hill.
Yes.
Whether it's pride, whether it's not, whether it's we have people that are the smartest people in the world, and it's like trying to turn that.
That's the worst.
Butt down and just be here in the room.
Yes.
I guess that would be willing to try.
Yes.
Be willing to look for resources and look
Yes.
for ones that fit who you are.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I say in therapy, like sometimes you got to go a couple times, and maybe
Yes.
that's not the right, like, honor you
Yes.
do have an instinct.
Yes.
And when you get sober and you get in recovery, that instinct becomes way more valuable because
Yes.
you're healthy.
Yes.
So some of the instincts in addiction are not healthy, but so I don't know, I guess.
No, that was great. The willingness, it's so funny you say that, because when people talk to me about getting in a new relationship or struggles they're having in a relationship, I always say to them, is your partner willing? Are they willing to look at their part
Mhm.
and to change? Because if they're not, that's where the trouble is. You
Right.
know, to be always open to learn, change, grow. I mean, I learned something about myself yesterday. I mean, and I'm 65 years old with a bunch of years of sobriety. It's going to be ongoing. It's if we get attached to that ego or
Yes.
the intellect, that is like huge. The intellect is such a block.
It's
to
such a block.
disease,
And
such a block.
that's the other, it can live together.
Yes.
Like the simplicity of recovery, like it
Yes.
coexist, you know,
Right.
but there's that, you know, the intellectual part can really
Oh my gosh.
on
Yes.
somebody, and that's a
Absolutely.
part, you know.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, always learning. I don't know it all. I
Uh,
definitely don't
amen.
have it all together all the time. So
Oh my God. The minute I think I know it all, I'm in big trouble.
yeah,
my friend.
yeah.
All right. We're going to wrap up. This is Leaving Crazy Town. We always say fasten your seatbelt
Oh,
and have a beautiful day. Thanks,
Thank
Lauren,
you
for
so
being with
much.
us. Thanks for listening to Leaving Crazy Town. We hope today's episode offered you valuable insights and tools to help navigate your relationship.
If you found our discussion helpful, please rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast. And share it with a friend. Misery loves company, right?
Stay connected with us on social media and visit our website for additional resources and updates on future episodes.
Until next time, remember that breaking free from codependency is a journey, and we're here to help you every step of the way. And hey, if all else fails, at least you'll have a few laughs.
So buckle up. We're leaving Crazy Town.